Hello, comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings. This handsome devil's your host, Bill Miller. All right, today we are doing another 5 speculation comic books that are under the radar, deep spec, if you will. 5 books that you can get for ridiculously cheap. So let's get started discovering which books we have today. All right, first we have Criminal Macabre #1. This is from Dark Horse Comics, 5-issue series. Ben Templesmith with the cover art and interior art. And the key to this book is it's written by Steve Niles. There are several Criminal Macabre series, and it's probably one of my favorite indie series of all time. Absolutely love it. If you like Constantine, you will definitely like Criminal Macabre. It is absolutely amazing. Templesmith's art took me a little while to get adjusted to. But once I did, it really seemed to fit the writing in this particular genre, horror genre, supernatural horror. Fits it very well. But the key to this book is it's written by Steve Niles. This was optioned by MGM years ago, but nothing really happened. But Steve Niles does have a track record, particularly with 30 Days of Night. That was made into a successful movie. He's had a lot of option properties. Remains, In the Blood, Wake the Dead, Leicester Arcane. They've all been optioned. And this one, I suspect, will get optioned again. It's too good. The source material is too rich, and it's too good, particularly for a television show. This is from 2003. And this is the first issue. I have all the issues. It's number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And that's Ben Templesmith did a lot of mixed media. That's what that cover is. And number 5. But I would recommend issue number 1. If you want to get the whole series, it's a fantastic read, and they're all relatively cheap. But number 1 in particular, you can get for $2 to $4 for a near mint copy. $2 to $4 for Criminal Macabre #1. Absolutely brilliant character and story. I can't recommend this one enough. All right, next we have Road Rage. This is #1 from 2012. It's a 4-issue series. And this is written by Stephen King and Joe Hill. Joe Hill, of course, is Stephen King's son. It's about a motorcycle gang that is pursued by a mystery man in a big rig diesel. Very good read. Obviously, Stephen King needs no introduction. Joe Hill has made quite a name for himself, particularly with Lock and Key. And based on the success of that, I wouldn't at all be surprised that studios come sniffing around for other things that he worked on, particularly something that he worked on with Stephen King. Just that cachet alone of his name would go a long way toward getting something actually made to completion. So Road Rage #1, you can get it for $7 to $15 for a high-grade copy. $7 to $15 for Road Rage #1. All right, next up we have The Amazing Spider-Man, number 55. This is from 2021. This is the ongoing series that began in 2018. Cover and art is by Patrick Gleason. This is the conclusion of the Last Remains storyline. So I suggest this one, particularly this is the second print, and there's a blue instead of red one that is the third print. The first print is white on black. And the first print is already pretty pricey, but I think that this is quickly becoming a cover key. It's such a striking, incredible cover. And I think it's going to cement itself in the comic book world as a legitimate cover key over the next 5 to 10 years. The first print is already pretty expensive, but this second print and the subsequent third print, the blue one, those can be had for $5 a piece for near mint copies. $5 a piece. And I don't see that lasting a whole lot longer. So, second print, third print of ASM number 55, $5 a piece. Something I feel is destined to become a cover key. All right, next up, we have Dead Enders, number 1. This is from 2000, and it's a 16-issue series. Art by Warren Pleece, cover by Philip Bond. But the key to this rascal is it's written by Ed Brubaker. And so, a couple different things. I usually recommend indies because there are so many of them, and there's so many streaming services, production studios, film companies that are looking for content that aren't Warner Brothers or Disney. And so they would naturally turn to indies that aren't owned by either DC or Marvel, right? And it's a lot easier to deal with one or two creators than it is to deal with a company. So there's a higher propensity for creator-owned titles to be made into something, or at least to be optioned, with the possibility of being made into some other type of media. And typically, with indies, the issue that holds value is the first issue, the number 1 issue. There are exceptions, but for the most part, it's the number 1 issue. And they tend to be writer-driven. I should say story-driven, because the artist certainly contributes to the story. But generally, it's the writer that's attached. It's usually the writer that is the primary on creator-owned series as well. So that's kind of what drives them. And this one is written by Ed Brubaker. It's about a dystopian future with a teen gang member and drug dealer who's thrust into the role of world-saving hero. It's a very good read. Ed Brubaker signed a deal with Legendary Television Studios to develop his creator-owned properties. And creator-owned properties include Vertigo. In case there was any confusion, Vertigo is a DC imprint. And if something does come to fruition, the creators have to share a portion of the proceeds with DC, but it is still a creator-owned property, and they can certainly negotiate with anyone for options. This can be had for the low price of $2 to $4 in near mint. $2 to $4 for Dead Enders number 1. There's a second copy. And the obligatory disclaimer that I'm not selling any of these. I don't make these videos to pump up any particular books. These are all just books that I believe in all part of my personal collection, and ones that I think can be picked up for really inexpensive and have a strong possibility of hitting later on. And so if you can grab a couple, sell them, and use those proceeds to buy some bigger books that you've always wanted, good on you, right? That's the whole purpose. Lastly, we have Over the Ropes, #1. This is from 2019, and it's a 5-issue series. Art and cover art by Antonello Cosentino and written by Jay Sandlin. And this chronicles the life in and out of the ring of a wrestler named Phoenix. And I'm from Phoenix, so it's all right by me. Includes dating, cage matches, dealing with crooked promoters, all those things that you would think that a wrestler would go through who's maybe not The Rock or Hulk Hogan. It's published by Mad Cave Studios, and it's gotten very good critical and popular reception. Over the Ropes, issue #1. And here is a second copy. And I just think with the popularity of wrestling, especially the popularity of wrestling with people who watched in the 80s and 90s who are now of age, I think that there's a good possibility that this could be made into probably a movie, possibly a TV show, but probably a movie that would be well received. So those are the books. Let's go back through them. Over the Ropes, #1. Dead Enders, #1. Amazing Spider-Man #55. King of the Road, #1. And Criminal Macabre, #1. Those are the 5 spec books that we have for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing them. And if you did, I would encourage you to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted as soon as I release new videos. Thumbs up and comments are always appreciated. Remember, we're taking over the world one comic book at a time.